Hey, I'm Matt Ryan, and you're listening to Chris Gordon's Ramblings of a Hellblazer.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night, Hellblazers, wherever you are in the world right now. This is the one and only Ramblings of a Hellblazer with your host, as always, Chris Gordon, bringing you the stars we love to watch. Today's guest has been a long time coming, and one whose return appearance has been requested for so long. I met him again at Wales Comic Con the other week, and proud to say right off the bat of me saying hello, he knew me and he said straight away, Chris, man, we need to do a podcast. So here it is. Listeners, Hellblazers, fans. I'm not going to prolong your torment any longer, although I'm sure that would be amusing for the character played by today's guest. Without further ado, I bring to you John Constantine himself, Mr. Matt Ryan. Matt, how are you?
I am very well, Chris. Thank you very much. Very well indeed.
Awesome.
It's a beautiful day here in London.
Oh, it is. It's up here in Wales as well. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, I've just been on the beach with my family, so...
Oh, cool. I'm currently tying up a garden hose after watering the garden.
Oh, the joys of home life.
Summer.
That you have to, the summer. Yeah, gardening never stops, eh?
It doesn't.
Excellent. Well, as I was just saying to you before, there's been an absolutely immense response on Twitter and Facebook from announcing that you would be my guest. I've been badgered for months to try and get you back on, which I apologise, which is why you've had messages off me for months on end.
No, that's fine, And I can remember the last time we spoke as well, I said, I've just been very busy and moving about the stuff, but no, it's a pleasure to be back on, Chris.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Being busy's good when you're an actor like yourself, so...
Yeah.
You've been doing a lot of decent, fantastic stuff. So, as I say, I usually sort of ramble a bit beforehand, but to be honest, I've got that many questions that have been sent in, Matt, for you, that I think we'll just fire straight in and see where we take it.
Go for it, man.
Cool. So I'll separate them out into general questions, Constantine questions, and then obviously Therese Raquin and the is it the Halcyon we pronounce it, or?
Yeah, I'm actually at the moment. I'm doing a TV show for ITV called The Halcyon.
That's it.
Which we're in the middle of filming at the moment, which is going great.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, we'll talk about that towards the end, so it's more fresh in people's minds.
Cool.
So start off with some general ones. Amber has asked, what has been the most defining moment for you as an actor?
The most defining moment as an actor? I don't know, actually. Well, I think, I went to drama school, and that was pretty life-changing, moving out of Wales and moving to Bristol. So that was kind of the most kind of life-changing move that I ever made. But as an actor, I would probably say that, my first theatre job was at the Royal Shakespeare Company, and that was kind of defining in terms of me spending 3 years on the stage and stuff. But then actually, I think that Constantine was probably one of the biggest kind of roles, or certainly one of the most fun for me as well. So I would probably say my first role at the Royal Shakespeare Company, and then Constantine. All
right, cool. Yep, definitely. Sounds good. Okay, Amber's also you worked on a play called Small Change with Luke Evans. What was that like, and what was it fun working with Luke, fellow Welshman?
Yeah, no, that was great. That was a really cool play, and an awesome play by a great playwright and director, Peter Gill, who's also Welsh as well. And Luke was great to work with. There was only 4 people in the cast, including Sue Johnson. And it was a great play, and it was good fun. I love doing theatre because you get to really, create a kind of family environment, and it was very much like that on that play.
Awesome. Sue Johnson's a great actress as well.
Oh, she's lovely. Love Sue.
Excellent. And which actors inspired you in your own career?
To work with, or to like?
I guess I'd phrase that more like who's inspired you to get into acting? Who were your inspirations when you started? Who are your inspirations now? Do you still have that kind of?
Well, I always loved growing up. I always loved watching like Scorsese's films and Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, and Al Pacino was kind of a big hero of mine growing up, and I actually had the pleasure of meeting him actually when I was in New York, which was amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, me and my mate went to see his play, and a good friend of ours knows him, and we went backstage to meet him, and he was so gracious and such an amazing guy, and it was a big moment actually. I was just like, meeting one of my childhood heroes, and but he's an amazing actor, and he proved that. He's 75 and he's going on the stage every night, and still bringing it, and that was such a big inspiration for me at that time, because doing theatre sometimes, you're doing a show 8 times a week. It's difficult, to bring it each night, or that's certainly the challenge, and the wonderful challenge. But seeing him go out there, it's still pushing the boundaries, still putting himself on the line, and risking everything, was just like an amazing thing to see, and meeting him was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, he's got to be him and De Niro down as my all-time favourites. I've got to say. So I'd love. I envy you so much for meeting him. Now you know how we feel when we meet you. You see, when you meet you,
man. And to see him on stage as well. That was amazing. I've seen all of his films, but then to go and watch him live. And we had great seats. We were only like 4 or 5 rows back, and
nice.
And we really had close. And just to see him work. I mean, the play wasn't the best of plays itself, but it was a masterclass, in acting, and it was really inspiring.
Awesome. I remember seeing Michael Crawford. I saw him when I was little. I love musicals, and I remember seeing him when I was very, very young. And we went back to see him in 2000 in The Woman in White in London. And just to see, it was just seeing someone like that who you've followed for so long, and just seeing them on stage. But I think you're right. The stage. I mean, to be honest, I'd love to see you on stage. I was gutted I couldn't go to see Therese Raquin. To be honest, but there's a different atmosphere with the theatre when we see you guys on TV. There's obviously the interactions there we can see, but when you're on theatre, it's a much more homely feel. You feel much more involved. There's a much more in depth for the audience, as well as obviously the actors as well. It's a lot more personal experience. You have a direct connection to the audience, and there is a certain energy. You put 1,000 people in a room, and then there's an energy. You tell that by when you go to football matches, or when there's people who get together. There's a great energy, and there really is a kind of conversation between you and the audience, and it's probably one of the greatest forms of storytelling for an actor that I can think of. It's certainly the most satisfying and enjoyable and exhausting. Yeah. 8 shows a week when they're several hours long. I mean, I had the pleasure of seeing John Joe in The Crucible last year.
Oh yeah, and I missed that because I was that's when I was in New York, and I was gutted. But we talked a lot about the process that we were both going through, and in different places in the world, doing the same medium, and it was amazing, man. Like, he sent me a picture of when they were in the tech, of him standing there, and just is like in his vest and his pants, and I was like, and he looked great, I'm gutted I missed that, but I heard he was fantastic.
It was absolutely fun. It really was. But I was kind of using that as the example of seeing what you guys go through, and how tiring it must be, because seeing the emotion, not just from John Joe, but from the rest of the cast, but obviously especially with John Joe because of John Proctor's character, going through in that, you can see how much it must drain and physically drain you guys when you're on there for like eight days a week, 2 days. Sometimes you're on a matinee in the afternoon, then straight on in the evening with an hour in between.
Yeah. It's a different form of discipline in itself, and you really have to, look after yourself and use your days wisely to reserve energy for the night's performance. And you do have to be like an athlete in a way to be able to sustain that, especially vocally if you're doing something that's high emotion. So it is a different kind of discipline, but it's great, man. I really love it. Yeah.
Awesome, cool. So Claire Hemsworth, she's asking. She actually met you at Comic Con as well.
Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says, "Do you know anything about a release for the 500 Miles North yet?"
I do not know anything about the release of I was actually I actually had dinner with the producer the other day, and we're still waiting on a completion date for that. But I'm eagerly waiting for it as it's been a while now, and it'd be good to see it. I did see an earlier cut of it, and it was looking really good. But then there was just a few notes that we wanted to do and go back in. But I think Luke, the director's been really busy making some documentaries and stuff. So I think what happens with those types of films that are funded and put together in the way that we did them, sometimes they take a little bit longer because, we were doing everything ourselves, and the process then, you don't have a lot of money behind you and stuff like that. So sometimes they take a little bit longer to get to release, but, hopefully soon.
All right, cool, awesome. Okay, Angel Kitty.
Angel Kitty?
Yeah, she's Haiku's Goddess on Twitter.
Oh,
you might see she does artwork and stuff. I know Angel
Sorry,
slash
wait,
Kitty.
You got to hear this. My flatmate is like singing his heart out. Oh, he stopped. That was really funny.
I did hear something in the background then, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, go on. Angel Kitty.
Yeah, she's asking. This is again general questions. What kind of movie would you watch to uplift you?
To uplift me, I'm one for kind of like high concept. For kind of entertainment, I like to watch a deep drama or something, if I'm feeling kind of cerebral or want to kind of delve in there. But in terms of to lift my mood, watch something like Star Wars or something, or, which I love, and, a lot of high concept stuff like that. I kind of find it's a really good form of entertainment and a form of escapism as well. I think that like the more and more you work in the industry, the more you kind of like when you watch movies, you see the workings, and with high concept, you can really kind of like lose yourself in your imagination. That's what I do.
Awesome. Kim Beecham again. She had the pleasure of meeting you at Comic-Con in Wales a couple of weeks ago.
Hey, Kim. Cool. Hey.
Did you enjoy your time at Wales Comic-Con? Do you have any other cons planned for the future?
I did. I really enjoyed it. I got to say, like I've done a bunch of them now, but like the one in Wales is great because it's all, it's Wales. It's
yeah,
home in a way, even though it's North Wales. But I really enjoyed it, and everyone was lovely, and the weather was great again, which was good. So, but I've had a couple more offers, but the problem is, with this job that I'm working at the moment, we're working Sundays to Thursdays.
Right.
So most of the cons happen on the weekend. So while I'm filming this, it doesn't look like I'll be doing any more for the time being. But
you can. Need your weekends to rest up and.
Yeah, exactly. Unless there's something kind of close to home, but yeah, I aim to do a bunch more, and hopefully I'll come back to Wales again as well because it's great.
It is. I mean, the Wales Comic Con. I'll sing its praises till the end. Till the cows
it's amazing, man. How much it's grown as well. Jamie, the organizer, one of the organisers, he's done such a good job. And last year, there was just the one day, and then this year was a 2 day. Sadly, I could only do the one, but it's just amazing to see the support that these shows and things have in Wales. It's great how much it's grown.
I think they had over 10,000 visitors.
Wow!
As well, I think I don't know if that was each day or whether that was both days. I can't remember, but it was a hell of a.
Do you know how much of an increase that was from last year?
I don't know. I do know I think it started about 9 years ago, and they had about 100 people through the doors. So in that time they've gone up to I think it must be double, almost. It's got to be almost double. I say since last year, or at least a third higher.
Yeah, well, it must be for them to do 2 days, right? I mean, it's got to have increased quite a lot.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing another. Well, they're teasing that they're doing another 2 day later this year as well.
Oh, cool.
That'd be awesome.
Great.
Okay, so Carissa, if you could play any character in a movie or a TV show, who would you play and why?
Anything as character on that TV or who would I play? I'd probably play. I don't know. I don't know really. Who would I play? I don't know. Let me think. Something kind of really fun in a comedy or something. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not too sure about that one.
You could play the Doctor. You can be close to home then, back home in Swansea. Well, Cardiff's not too far down the road.
But no, something kind of against the grain, something that I'd have to do something maybe very physical for, and really kind of change my physicality. So something that was kind of very far away from me, and a real character role that I could really challenge myself and push the boundaries with, and something like that, something very far away from myself.
All right, cool. There was actually a campaign, I'm pretty sure, last year where people were saying Matt Ryan for James Bond.
Yeah, well, James Bond.
Yeah.
James Bond is from Wales originally. Yeah.
We've had a Scottish one. We've had a Australian one.
That's true. Yeah. Here's the singing.
I can hear it,
guys. Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's awesome. Yeah. Cool. Hellblazer DJ is, what's the first ever CD you bought, and do you play an instrument yourself?
I play the guitar, not very well. Played it for years on and off, but kind of just strum a bunch of chords and sing very badly. I can play a few notes on the piano to a little bit of lesser standard than I can on the guitar. But love doing it anyway. Love kind of just jamming out with my mates. We've actually got a little studio in our house. In our spare room, we've created a little studio where we have a bunch of guitars and cool. Piano and some drums and a kazoo and a bunch of harmonicas. And basically what we do is we just go in and jam and sometimes record it and, you know, do a little bit more with it, or just mostly for fun, just jamming around. So I love playing and love music. And I think that I don't have a favorite CD. It changes and it varies all the time. I think that's such a kind of difficult question to answer because it all depends on your mood and where you're at and stuff. You know, I agree with that. You know, I listen to a lot of Prince again lately. You know, because obviously with him passing away and. You know, and then I also started listening to Billy Joel again. You know, and and then I keep on going back to the Daft Punk album because I love the Daft Punk album, the last one.
They're fun.
I think those guys are great. You know,
so done.
Yeah, so great. But then, you know, a really varied range of music I like listening to. So it all depends on my mood, really.
Cool. Well, we still need that mucous membrane on tour with you and John Joe.
Yeah, man. That would have been fun.
It would have been. Wendy Willison is asking, similar to if you were to be on Doctor Who, would you prefer to be the Doctor or a companion or an evil Time Lord? Well,
ooh, I don't know.
That's intriguing.
An evil Time Lord would sounds cool. Yeah, an evil Time Lord, definitely.
Yeah. If you're going to be something like that, you've got to be something good, haven't you?
Yeah, and that's fun as well to play, you know. And yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool. So Phoebe Nee, she's one, by the way, of many from China. So just give a shout out to all the guys from China who actually.
All you guys in China.
They've sent me so many messages saying they absolutely adore you.
Cool.
So Phoebe has asked, could you please tell us if you will come to China?
I would love to come to China. I'd like to visit all the rice paddies and stuff. I watch a bunch of documentaries, and I'd really like to visit China. I've not really been that far out east before. I've got as far as Thailand, but yeah, I'd really like to visit that part of the world.
Yeah, somewhere I'd love to. It's just so vast and culture is full. And the second question she asks is a completely random one: of Team Captain America or Team Iron Man?
I'd say Team Iron Man. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'd just say Team Iron Man.
Fair enough. Split a load of people, I tell you. Everyone. If you look online, everyone's fighting with each other about which team to be in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, crazy. Okay, Autumn Wolf, Rachel, is as actors, you get a lot of fan attention, tweets, tags, show art directed to you. Since it's an unavoidable aspect of Twitter, do you have a preference to what fans send you? Or do you just take it all in?
I just kind of take it as it is. You know, I was kind of new to the whole Twitter thing when we did Constantine, so that was kind of what catapulted me to kind of that being on Twitter and stuff. And I mean, I just take it as it comes. Really, I just take it as I can and appreciate all the support and all the followers that I have.
Awesome. Cool. So Blaze Broadway is asking, what's your lifetime aspiration?
My lifetime aspiration is to enjoy myself, be loving, and having as much fun as possible.
Awesome. So can't knock that, really, can you? Rebecca Clayton has said, have you ever considered auditioning for Black Sails?
For Black Sails?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I haven't. I've heard a lot about the show, though, and obviously with the genre with Assassin's Creed and stuff, it'd be cool. I don't get that much time to watch as many shows as I want to, but it's one that's definitely on my list. And Toby Stephens is great as well. I've seen him on stage, saw him play Hamlet with the Royal Shakespeare Company. I thought he was amazing.
Awesome, yeah. Toby Stephens is another one I'd love to go and see on stage.
Yeah, he was great, really great.
Awesome. Okay, Anne-Marie, I'm sorry, I'm rattling through these questions, Matt. I do apologise. There's just so many of them. I don't want to be here until 7 o'clock tonight. Anne-Marie is, what's the one thing you won't tolerate?
The one thing I won't tolerate?
Yeah. It's a strange question.
I'm pretty tolerant, really. Fools. I don't know. I'm pretty tolerant. I kind of like try to be open as I can, but don't know, people kind of are just nasty people. People aren't, I don't take kindly to arseholes, really.
Yeah, fair enough.
Simply put, you know what I mean? I think that everybody should be kind and loving to each other, and some people aren't, and those people I don't have any time for myself,
Yeah, no, that's a philosophy I think I hold with you. Okay, cool. So Flaro, yeah. You can obviously know where this question's going, can't you, with a name like that?
Flaro.
Yeah. What was it like to work with Stephen Amell, and then also with Angelica, sorry. That's two different ones. Yeah.
Angelica. Stephen was great, man. He was so fantastic. The whole cast and everybody there, all the producers, all the writers, all the crew, everything was so welcoming to me, and it just felt completely natural and felt at home. It was great, and Stephen's great. He's definitely a great leader, and he's just great to work with, and open and kind of supportive. And Angelica is just an amazing human being, and a wonderful creature. I haven't spoken to her for ages, actually, and she's great. She was so much fun to work with on the show. She was always up for having fun. She was always up and open to try things and experiment. And when you're under a lot of pressure as well with your time schedule, she was always on it. She was hardworking. She's a great actress, and a lot of fun to kind of to be around as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. She's on Snapchat and she keeps sending these little Snapchat pictures with her with all these little like dog ears and
she's the dog Oliver.
Yeah.
yeah.
But they do like little cartoon things, and she's always like trying them out and putting them all. She's just seems such a hilariously lovely person.
Yeah, she is. She's great, and she's like one of the boys as well. She's grown up around her brothers, and she's up for a bit of banter, which is great. She'd always have fun and then, he's great. Great working with her.
Cool. Okay, the last of the general questions now is from L, who is Hellblazer, H-Lblazer, on Twitter. Okay, I hear you're trading in that lovely Welsh accent for an American one. Any chance of a snippet, something you could say to make L's heart flutter?
Oh, yeah, I am trading in the accent for an American one. In what accent? In what?
In your American accent, I think she means.
Oh, in my American accent, you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait, and you'd have to wait and see for that one. I'm afraid. But no, it's good fun. Do you know what's great? It's great doing something completely different from John as well. This character, he comes from a completely different place. Excuse me, second. Oh, bless you. And he's really fun to play, and also playing something in this period as well, which is a completely different period to what Constantine was in, was really fun. But you're going to have to wait to see it until you hear my American accent.
Sorry, El.
Sorry, El.
Cool. I'll say I'm going to explore that one later, because it's I do want to watch this one, the new show which you're in. It does sound very sort of my cup of tea. Right, so first we'll move on to the Constantine questions, for which I am sure you are well versed.
Yeah.
So the first
fire away.
The first one is from James Lloyd, and I've got to say this has got to be probably one of the best Constantine questions I've heard. Is, did you rob the helmet of Naboo like a proper Scouser?
I didn't. No, I didn't. Unfortunately, no. But I robbed some other stuff, but I'm not telling you what.
Fair enough. Yeah, you don't want them, the NBC police coming down on you.
Yep.
Okay, Kim Gott is. Do you have a favourite line from Constantine? She's always wanted to know. There was
a bunch of really good lines. What's funny is after you do something, the way that your memory or my memory retains it anyway, I'll be able to remember lines as long as I know that I've got to do them. But as soon as I finish, then they kind of disappear. But I just used to enjoy saying bollocks, in the way that with the kind of attitude and the way that John did, that was really good fun. But there was some other profound things in there that if I really thought about, I could probably recall some. But right now, just the word bollocks just comes to mind straight away. So I'd have to say that.
Cool.
That word. It's not a line, it's a word.
It's a word, yeah. That Gary Bloody Lester.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, no, that's my impression. That's I tried to do an impression, and I could not get anywhere near what you did. So, never mind. Kim Beecham again. His favourite memories from working on Constantine.
What was my favourite memory?
Yeah, your favourite memory working on the show. And Lexi also kind of asks what was the best part. So they're kind of Kim and Lexi both. So what's the best part of being on the show?
I don't know. Do you know what? It was such an amazing experience being in a show like that, and with all the amazing actors like you got to work with. It's hard to pick a moment. I think that like one of the greatest things was getting to work with John on the show. Mm-hmm. I just think that, you know, because we're friends, we've known each other for so long. I think it is really great when things align in that way. Do you know what I mean? And that was probably one of my fondest memories of the show. But I have so many different scenes and times with, you know, different actors and different episodes and different directors that it'd be hard to kind of go through them all, really, you know, to pick one, I think. But yeah, I mean, it was such a tight family on the show, the way that everybody worked together, all the crew, everyone was really kind of mucking in, and it was a real sense of, I never experienced before the kind of the unity where everyone was kind of just really a family, and that's what I loved about it most, was the way that everybody got on, you know, off the screen as well, and the relationships that we built were fantastic, and we really did have a great team.
Awesome, yeah. I mean, that was shown quite obvious as well. I'm pretty sure if I remember last time when I talked to you and John Joe that the way the scenes are filmed sometimes are a bit topsy-turvy, so there wasn't the first scene that you filmed with John Joe, it was when he was waking up on the hospital bed or something, right next to you, and you just burst out laughing? Yeah,
that's right. I mean, we hadn't seen each other for a while, and we'd only talked briefly, and it was like, you know, I knew he was up for the part, and then 5 days later he was in Atlanta, and it was really strange and amazing. And then, you know, I was busy working on the episode before that while he was having all his costume and makeup tests, and we just like passed each other in the corridor or something. And then the first scene we filmed was the scene when, you know, at the end of the episode when Gary's tied to the bed, and we were in there, you know, we're all working, and it was they yelled cut for the first camera setup, and as they were changing the lights and cameras, me and John Joe were just sat in there, and we were just like, where the fuck are we? What are we doing? You know? And it was just this moment where it was like, we were first able to kind of take in each other for a while and go, hey man, you know? And it was a really great moment, and then the episode from that was just so much fun.
Awesome. That was a cracking episode, that one as well. It really was.
Oh, nice.
Roz is asking, do you think Zed has been guided or sent by John's mother to save him? If you can think back a year.
I don't. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure really, but I don't know. I'm just actually thinking about that right now, and what a kind of cool little plot that is. But it's certainly a possibility. Yeah, I mean, certainly a possibility. We don't really know. We didn't really get to know who she was really, or why, you know, where she came from, or the whole purpose really for them to, you know, aligning and being on the same path for this time. But it would be interesting to find out.
It would be, yeah. Hopefully we'll get back. Belle Gaudreau, actually, she's asked a similar question about what was getting back into Arrow and what was it like working on Arrow again. We've kind of covered that one, so just make sure I'm just saying for Belle's name that she
Belle, it was as I said, it was great. And what was also great about it is the director was John Badham, who directed, I think it was episode 5 of Constantine, the one with where we first meet Papa Midnight, and Don's such a fantastic director, so it was great to work with him again as well, and all those lot.
Awesome. Okay, the next question was asked by Butchie231, Corey Stevens, Belle Gaudreau, and Matthew Davis.
Boys?
Sorry, I had a mouthful to say this. Will Constantine be returning, which we gather we're unsure, and is it a role that you'd be interested in playing if the opportunity presented itself? And I know from speaking to you before what the answer to that is.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the show's obviously been cancelled, which was a shame, but, you know, it's a great partner, great character, and it was great to jump back into Arrow as well, and, you know, just go back to the character. You know, I always felt that, you know, we only did 13 episodes of it, and there was so much more stories to tell about this character and the world around him, and it was great fun, and I'd love to do it again, yeah.
Awesome. And kind of following on from that as well, Robert Chopstick and Perk Edge.
Robert Chopstick.
Yeah, some cracking names on Twitter, I tell you.
Cracking names.
They really are, yeah. Would there be any chance of any other crossovers with possibly Lucifer, Preacher, or the other CW shows? I mean, Lucifer would be perfect, Matt. It really would. I don't know if you've actually... You might not caught around it, but it's Tom Ellis is in it as Lucifer. And
I've heard of that show, and also The Preacher as well. So I've heard really good things about that. I mean, I don't know about any of those things. I mean, as an actor, you finish a job, and then you look for the next job, and hope that you have the opportunity to do something cool, and I'm doing that now, and it's none of that is in my hands really. It's about kind of just getting on with doing what I'm doing, and hope that I can continue to play good roles.
Fair enough. Excellent. Okay, Kipuka. Yeah. Would you, as Matt Ryan, get on with John Constantine?
Probably not. No.
He's a bit of a snarky bastard, isn't he?
Yeah, he just he just pissed me off, to be honest. He's too nasty, and he's. I don't think we'd get on. I mean, no, I think there's a bit of him that everybody loves, no matter how much they hate of him. So it would probably be a real love-hate relationship.
Yeah, definitely. He's you're kind of drawn to Constantine, but at the same time, you're right. He's just a miserable shit. Pardon the language. Matt Ryan Daly is. If you didn't do Constantine and could choose to play anyone in the Marvel universe, who would you play?
Somebody like maybe a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a bad guy. I'd like to play one of the bad guys, like, sitting up there in my chair.
Yeah.
Floating in the universe, kind of,
like Thanos type.
Trying to take over the whole universe. That's what I'd like to do. That'd be fun.
Fair enough. And you just said that you wouldn't get on with Constantine when you want to take Sound like you get on pretty well with him, to be honest. Sorry. Matthew Davis. Oh no, Matthew Davis is sort of saying, is there any truth that DC trying to bring back Constantine? We've kind of just covered that anyway. It's something that's out of the hands, isn't it? But
yeah, exactly.
Cool. TJ is saying, this has been a big debate, but what hashtag should we use for the continued support of Constantine? Constantine lives, bring back Constantine, or save Constantine.
Oh, wow.
Which one would you...
I'm not sure, really. I mean, what's funny is like, the way that happened last time, it kind of, it decided for itself, didn't it? And I think that, whatever is the kind of most popular, natural way for that to develop is probably the best way,
Fair enough. They do sort of... I still don't understand all these hashtags myself. They have a life of their own they take onto Twitter. Okay, Miami, and she, if you could direct one episode of Constantine, which one would it have been and why?
Let me think about that one. I mean, one of my favourite episodes to be in was episode 8 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 was great. But I would probably have said the last one, episode 13.
Right.
I think because it was a little bit more ensemble as well. You had the whole Jim Corrigan thing going on with Zed, and then the Manny and Papa stuff as well. I think that would have been a cool one, and also like the story of the dead kids. That's directly from the comics. I mean, I thought that David did a fantastic job in it, but I think that would have been something quite fun to do, and interesting. And I would have liked to have done that one.
Okay, awesome. Last Constantine question now is from Danny Puta and Zoe. Would you audition for Justice League Dark if you had the chance?
Sure. Why not? Yeah. I mean, I haven't really. I try not to think about it, about any kind of particular roles or anything until they come. I just kind of go with what's in front of me, But yeah, if it came up, then sure, why not?
Awesome. Fair enough. Okay, move on to Therese Raquin. Now, obviously, once you'd finished Constantine last year, you've then went on to New York and Broadway with a very successful run within Therese Raquin, which I know several Hellblazers went to see. Sadly, I would have loved to have done it. My questions for this one, what was it like working with Keira Knightley?
Oh, she's great. She's fantastic. The whole cast of that play were just great. I mean, there was only 7 of us, and then obviously a bunch of people supporting us as well, who were fantastic. But yeah, everyone in the cast was great, and it was such a kind of dark piece. And I think that what was great about it is when you have such a dark piece like that, you know, everyone's able to kind of see the humor behind it, or you know, kind of have a dynamic between you where you can kind of have a laugh as well, which is great. Yeah. But Keira's fantastic. She's amazing to work with, and I can't say it was the most fun of plays because it wasn't, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But in terms of an experience, it was quite an experience.
All right, cool. And I mean, Mellie's asking a question here. She said she saw you twice, met you twice, and saw you on Broadway twice, I believe.
Oh wow!
In the play, she's asking if you can expand on what your experience was working on Therese Raquin itself, because obviously it is a dark sort of play, and
yeah, I mean, it was as I said, it was an amazing experience itself. You know, I think it was the first time it was the second time I've done Broadway. So the first play we did, Hamlet, we transferred from London. We actually took it to Denmark first, and then we transferred to Broadway. So it was a different process. We already had a play going in, and this was my first time actually rehearsing in New York and going through that whole process. Which was again another amazing experience, you know, where, you know, they do things slightly differently, or there's a slightly different format in terms of rehearsal schedule and stuff to what we might undertake in London. And that whole process was kind of new to me in a way. Like in London, you always have a shorter preview process. And in New York, you have like about a month to preview. So you really do have time to work the show and get in front of an audience and get feedback from the audience and stuff. So, and it grows a lot over that time. So that's something which was really, really great, you know. And being in New York City as well, the energy and the buzz of that place is just fantastic. You know, I got to see Al Pacino, who was down the road in his play, you know, which was amazing. So all those things kind of tie into it. And the director and the whole team at the Roundel Theatre were amazing. They're a non-for-profit theatre company, so they're able to put on certain plays that wouldn't necessarily be as commercial ventures. And like Therese Raquin, I don't think that there was many other producers that would have put the play on, but the Roundabout can really take risks, and they do take risks, and I think that's an amazing thing, and they're an amazing company.
Okay, awesome. Mellie's also asking, what was your kind of favourite scene in the play?
Oh, in the play, I don't know. Do you know what's so funny is I didn't come on stage until about 15 to 20 minutes into the play. Yeah. And then once I come on, I was pretty much on for the whole time. And it kind of becomes, you know, all one. It's like this train track. It's like you do your preparation before and you jump on this train track that you kind of set out for yourself, and you just go and it takes you. And you know, certain things happen in live theatre which you don't expect, and you know, you just go on this journey. So it's not as if they were individual scenes, you know. It was just kind of, what was so great is the way that the character started off and where he ended out. I mean, that progression, to go through all of that in the space of 2 hours was thrilling.
Awesome. What would your ideal, this is from me now, what would your kind of ideal role be on Broadway? Because, I mean, you are an established and acclaimed stage actor as well, as what we know, you know, what a lot of people have seen on TV. What would your ideal role be on Broadway? I mean, playing opposite Al Pacino, perhaps.
Oh, man, that'd be amazing. Yeah, if he did King Lear, I'd like to do Edgar. Yeah, there you go, there's one.
Fair enough. That'd be a pretty good thing to see. Yeah, Al Pacino's King Lear, eh?
Yeah, man, I'd love to see him doing that role.
He'd take that, and I could see him relishing that one.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
Yeah. Are you planning on doing any theatre in the UK at all?
Yeah, again, I think that I'm just kind of doing this job at the moment, and I'll see what kind of arises after it. And what's great is that you know, when you take a job, or when you get a job, you know, you really do live in it, you know. So right now I'm kind of doing this and not really thinking too much beyond that, you know, just trying to be in it, do the best work I can, and enjoy it, and kind of, you know, grow from it. And all of those things. So I just kind of try to be in the moment as much as possible.
Fair enough. And now finally, actually moving on to that one now, and I did say we'll try and concentrate on this one, but unfortunately, because not for so many people wanted to ask you so much stuff, I couldn't knock them. So yeah, your new production, ITV. Tell us about it. What can you tell? Just sell it to us.
Well, it's basically it's called The Halcyon. It's by Left Bank Productions, and it'll be on ITV. I think sometime next year. I'm not quite sure what the release date is.
All right, okay.
But yeah, it's set in the 1940s, just before the Blitz in London, around this hotel called The Halcyon, and it's got all the ingredients really for. You've got your upstairs and downstairs kind of thing going on, but then you also got, I play an American journalist called Joe O'Hara, who is come to Britain to try and further his journalist career, but also to report back to America, the goings on in Europe.
Right.
And he's a really interesting character to play. He's in and around the hotel, and at first you don't know that he's a journalist, and then he garners some information from some of the lords and ladies, and then actually makes a broadcast about it, and they find out that he's a journalist. And but yeah, it's a great TV show, and it's what's amazing about it is you have all the different kinds of people that you have at that time in the world were struggling to kind of survive under the enormous pressure that's about to be put on them, and there's an impending doom of the Blitz, and they have to kind of, survive that and try and find the best way of getting through that for all those horrible times. So, what's great about it for me is the research of something like this. From what little I knew about World War II and World War One, you get a chance to really go back and kind of reteach yourself, give yourself a history lesson about kind of actually what went on and all the politics of it and all of that sort of stuff. So that's been a great joy as well, and I'm still continuing to do that because there's so much material out there to garner from. So yeah, it's just an amazing experience and completely different job to what Constantine or Therese Raquin was, and yeah, it should be a good show, I think.
Excellent. No, it sounds great. It's like, because 1940 London as well. It'll be good with having you as that sort of reporter, because that's when the US actually got themselves involved in that, in the actual war effort itself. So we'd already been at war for a year. So I can see how that intrigue and that the mystery and the suspicion from some of the aristocratic people you might come across in the show would be towards your character, and it's like, who are you? I can picture that in my head, if that's kind of sort of where it's sort of that sort of period of time. It was a very suspicious time. People were very suspicious of each other, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's a world without mobile phones and the technology we have today, and I think we take all that for granted, and just getting yourself in the headspace of the way that these people would even communicate, where they would send telegrams, or they were using Morse code, or they were making long distance telephone calls by operators, and just the way that things were then is a really interesting thing to get your head around, I think, as we live in this very modern world.
Yeah, you can't do anything in today's society without everyone knowing about it.
Exactly.
It's just, prime example was David Cameron and the Queen, wasn't it, recently? I'm not going to say anything about what they said, but being overheard by just a journalist who just happened to have recorded them at the wrong time when they were saying something. And it's in 90, I won't say it. It's
I'll look it up.
Look it up. But so 1940 you wouldn't have had that. But like here, all it was, they were having a private conversation, but just at that time, I think a camera swept by them and just picked up that word, picked up what they said, and woomph, viral worldwide.
Oh wow! Yeah, it's crazy now.
It is, yeah. Okay, so the Halcyon, is it going to... it's on ITV here, you say, next year. Do you think it'll be available in the US at all? Is that something you can know or foresee?
I don't know yet. I think it probably will at some point, I imagine, but I don't know any of those details yet. We're into filming the third and fourth episode at the moment of 8. Cool. So, we work in blocks, so we're in the second block at the moment. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's coming together nicely, and I'm hoping to see a little bit of from the rushes soon. So yeah, fingers crossed it'll be good.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully, I say, because a lot of people have been saying they'd love to see that as well in the States, so I'm sure it'll be available on one of these many. Like we've just said, you can't do anything nowadays without it being everywhere, so I'm sure it'll be broadcast on something. Cool. And that kind of brings me it's all right, that kind of brings me to the end there, Matt. Now, is there anything you'd like to say to all your fans out there?
I'd just like to say, thank you everyone for all your, continued support. For Constantine, for Constantine, and also for just being such amazing fans of the show. So yeah, I'd just like to say thank you to all you guys. Really, and thank you, Chris.
Oh, Matt, thank you very much once again. That was absolutely fantastic. And brilliant to talk to you. Glad, thank you for answering all the Hellblazers fans who sent them in. Thank you to you Hellblazers for sending your questions in and being so positive, sharing and retweeting, and being so active and supporting Matt. Wish Matt all the best with his future career. We're watching it very, very closely, as I'm sure all of you guys will be. I hope you enjoyed that. This has been Chris Gordon. You've been listening to Ramblings of a Hellblazer. Good night.